Welcome to the Margin Business Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. In today's episode, we got Priyanka Bohra. Priyanka is the Partnerships Manager at SellerAPP. SellerAPP is the only all-in-one platform built for entrepreneurs, small businesses, and Fortune 500 companies alike. Powered by a modern machine learning technology, the tools of SellerAPP allow you to seamlessly upscale your Amazon business. Priyanka will tell us a lot more about SellerAPP in the podcast. Welcome, Priyanka. So thank you so much for making it today. Great to have you on. So let's begin with your story. I mean, not directly into SellerAPP. We first want to know more about you, about what you used to do, and how did you make this jump into a great company like SellerAPP?
Absolutely. Thank you, Omar, for inviting me over. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for the honor. So before I get into, of course, SellerAPP, as you mentioned, I'll give a little background about myself. So I am Priyanka Bohra. I'm Director of Marketing at SellerAPP today. But prior to this, I have worked in the financial industry, which is very different from what we are doing today in the e-commerce space. I have about 11 years of work experience, and 8 out of those 11 years, I have worked in varied financial roles across geographies from Singapore, Dubai, as well as in the United States. I've worked with Prudential in Singapore and Dunya Finance, then Morgan Stanley in the United States, which is a top investment bank. And my last stint before I moved back to my home country was with TD Ameritrade as a financial advisor. So I have been very, very proud of part in portfolio management and financial services. However, after I moved back, obviously with the advent of digital marketing and, it's the upcoming thing right now, like everybody is into it. And I headed a company called Opal Advertising and Marketing. It's a family-owned company. We were into the traditional marketing space, but we wanted to go digital, and hence that kind of developed my interest for getting, digital marketing. I even did a course in digital marketing, applied analytics, and then through that, I got an opportunity to work with SellerAPP, and here I am right now in front of you talking about the e-commerce and Amazon giant per se. So yeah, very excited, and my journey with SellerAPP as well has been amazing. I've been here for over a year now, and learned so much. I did not know that this fraternity or this close-knit space, people are doing just so much in this space, but it was just not even known to me until I actually got into it. And it really amuses me how big this community is getting now.
Oh, it's definitely amazing. And I mean, your background brings all these things together, the finance part, the e-commerce part, and then going into SellerAPP and understand the community as well. The Amazon community, not only Amazon. I mean, beyond that, it's we're heading into times where it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I can see as well from SellerAPP how fast you guys have been growing just the last few months, and it's really a pleasure to see these different companies coming out and bringing their valuable services to the market, especially softwares, which help actually sellers in order to achieve more, to sell more. And yeah, being part of this is definitely, as you said, Priyanka,
very
amazing.
exciting.
It's really,
I'm loving every bit of it.
It's
so much
really
to learn.
good.
Every day I'm learning something new, Omar. Like it's not even funny, every day there's something new to learn. And Amazon itself is just so complex and so vast, you can never kind of get enough of it. You can never know all about it. They're like coming up with updates constantly, and it's just, there's so much to know.
You literally need to have like VAs who are studying every day the news which are coming out from Amazon in order to pick out what you really can use, and which information is useful for the company or useful for your clients as well, because the best would be to update everyone all the time, which is almost impossible because the news are too much. So we have to be very specific about what you do, and nobody can tell me that they know Amazon 100%. It's not possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just too much information.
Even the veterans wouldn't tell you that.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Yeah, so that's already really good. I mean, your background is really specifically for this type of industry, and as well for seller, very valuable. And yeah, there as well. What about the growth of Amazon? How has it been like? I mean, especially for someone who's selling on the platform, on Amazon, or let's say Amazon India, or Amazon US. What do you think? How this growth, where this growth is coming from, and where we're going to go in the future with this?
Sure, sure. So I think Amazon has definitely placed itself as the market leader in this space, in the e-commerce, marketplace area for a few years now. I mean, I think it's more like they've monopolized the whole market, right? And what's really interesting,
monopolization, very good, very good. I like this word,
Yeah, I mean, totally they are. And what's even interesting is that it's not just a marketplace, but as most of us also know, it's also something similar to Google. It's also like a search engine, right? Where it really anticipates, there's analytics to really understand the buying behavior of the customer, the patterns, the needs of the customer. They're targeting ads according to what you visited before in the past and so on. They know it all, just like Google does, right? So there's no hidden information there as well. So as a seller, what this typically means that you're being able to cater to this search engine to really get your product noticed among all the buyers and competitors, with the community really growing at a rate of, let's say, I think 2,500 new sellers per day, with the current community at about 9.7 million worldwide. It's become extremely cutthroat. There's like an abundance of competition. It's becoming extremely challenging to even get good visibility amongst all these players, right? So it's and in order to target the right customers, I would say, and get better conversions, data is going to be your best friend. You need data, you need all those metrics to really gauge and be able to make informed decisions, or get those actionable insights and make those decisions to get on the top search pages of Amazon and so on. You need to know where the buyers are based, what times are they the most active, so you're able to target them accordingly. And you also need to anticipate what their buying pattern has been like. So, and what I actually feel that by foreseeing some of these consumer behavior, you're actually able to really use the right keywords, optimize your listings and so on in the title or on the back end search terms, whether they're a close match or relevant for the search terms that you're really searching. So I think optimization has also become really key for all these sellers to get better sales. And product's description needs to be very vividly described, because obviously you can't touch and feel the product, so you want to be very close to exactly what your product is all about. You want to make sure that your keywords are indexed. You want to make sure that you're following the A9 algorithm, because that's constantly changing as far as Amazon is concerned. So really going back to your question, Omar, of how growth of these sellers on Amazon has been like, I think it has been phenomenal. It has definitely evolved over the years, with so many new features coming in on a constant, regular basis, even in Seller Central, to help the sellers really make their product more visible, be out there, and be there in front of competition. There's just the opportunities that they provide to really get good visibility, or whether it is not just visibility, but everything, right? Whether it is to manage your inventory properly, to get your marketing efforts incentivized. It really has a lot of exponential growth, not to forget, views, ratings, feedbacks, all of those kind of things. So that kind of just add to the credibility, authenticity of your product. And Amazon really goes far and beyond and out of the way to make sure that you never run out of options, particularly for sellers. So, yeah.
No, definitely, I agree with that, and we're looking at great times. But as well with the growth comes a lot of data, and all of this data cannot be manually dealt with anymore. If you have, for example, as an agency or as a seller, when you have a lot of products and you sell tens of thousands per month of them, it's very hard to actually understand your data. Or we're not anymore in the times where you have Excel sheets, and then we just look at other sellers, what they do, and all of this. Now we have really apps such as SellerAPP in order to know more about your customer. about agencies, about the whole market, about all these data. So please tell me a little bit more about SellerApps, what it does and how it can improve the life of sellers, actually, which we at the end we want, because we want them to make money. We're not just getting out a beautiful tool and then it does nothing. No, it's actually we want to make money. So please tell us more about it.
Sure. So SellerApp's story actually began back in 2017. Our co-founders were entrepreneurs who had, worked with many big companies in the past and to really guide them in their product launch strategies and really product marketing, so to speak. So they realized the potential of e-commerce industry and how it is going to look like for the future, or how it's going to be, the future of shopping is what they understood well. So working with all of these big companies enabled them to really realize the customer is of utmost importance. And I think that led to growth and the idea, the conceptualization, inception of SellerApp, or success for an e-commerce business. And not just this, I think our co-founders also identified the necessity and, as you mentioned, the need for data, because without data, you are really more like handicapped, right? What are you going to do about it? Firstly, you need to understand data in a more seamless, in a more processed, in a more consumable, comprehensible way to make sense of the data. And then, of course, based on those data points, what decisions you make, I think, make a mark in the industry, right? So the necessity of having those data-driven insights in the growth for the seller on Amazon, I think that's what they recognized. And of course, having a knack for problem solving and a mission to create the biggest data repository for an Amazon seller to empower them actually led to, formation or, inception of SellerApp. So that's where we started, or not we, but like both of them started, our co-founders, Dilip Bamanan and Rich Purohit. And that was the idea behind it. Of course, SellerApp, as I mentioned, is primarily not a tool. It's a software. It's a leading data analytics platform for sellers alike, and whichever level you are at, whether you're at a beginner level, intermediate level, or a power advanced level seller, we have solutions catering to the entire spectrum. And for example, if you're a beginner seller and you don't even know what to sell, you're just starting to look for a product, or you're thinking of what to even start selling on Amazon, then we have features catering or solutions catering for someone who's at a beginner level, to do that product research, which categories are top performing, where is the demand, low competition, high demand, and basically to help you make that choice of what to start even selling, right? Our SellerApp's keyword, the data points that we have is about 35 million keywords for you to even consider. So not just this database, that's a lot, yes. And it keeps getting more, right? Because we're getting more and more data all the time. So, and different metrics to really, find you the perfect fit in terms of, let's say, what are the top 10K keywords or 100K average search volumes and so on. Now, another thing that we have also is a sales dashboard, which also really helps sellers get an overview, or as well as a detailed report on what's like generating the most revenue for them, what's the sales velocity like, what's the best selling product, what do you want to kind of push out, and or what's not doing so well and you don't want to spend more money on that, and so on. How well your inventory levels are stocked up, are you actually running out of inventory, for instance, which products would kind of benefit from increased ad spend, and so on, and even for keywords, it's like, which are not converting for you or which are not doing well, you want to kind of move them into negative, and so on. So we have all of these features. And last but not the least, I would really talk about SellerApp advertising, which is our best feature. And we really take pride in two things, of course, our data, and then SellerApp advertising, which really helps you run your PPC campaigns per your marketing goals with smart insights, market intelligence, business monitoring, reporting. It helps you, cut those repetitive workflows and really automate your processes. So I think that is one of our best features so far. But we also have a freemium model, which I do want to touch upon. And it's absolutely free for everybody, for all sellers. It's absolutely free. All the primary features are free. There's no strings attached, no credit card connects, nothing needed. You can still access our advertising feature, primary features, product research, keep it, all of them absolutely for free. And as well as we have a managed service section as well, where, where we are doing the heavy lifting for you the hand-holding for you. There are dedicated account managers who take care of your account. So we are a full suite of tools available for every genre, whoever wants to experiment with it.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of information, a lot of good information, and a lot of help for sellers as well. So
Yes.
if I understood correctly, so you take over the advertising part, you take over the manual part, and as well the automatic part, because
Yes.
obviously when there is too much data, having 20 account managers working on PPC all day long would be a bit hard. I mean, it still exists. I have seen offices with 40 employees in there, which working non-stop on PPC. This is what we call the manual work, and we have as well the automatical part. So advertising on Amazon is definitely growing. So if we look at the US, that's why I'm always saying you have to have a big budget in order to compete with sellers in the US. That's why I always tell people to come to the European Union, because it's still affordable. I don't say it's cheap. I say the clicks are affordable, more affordable in the US. And that's why you have the same space as the US. You have the whole European Union where you can sell. Okay, you have to have a bit of VAT numbers and EORI numbers and everything set up. But there's companies taking care of this, not a problem. So
absolutely,
within the EU, you have the PPC, which is now really affordable for any. If you are a US seller and you look at the UE, it's definitely affordable for you. So everything is growing at the moment. Where do you think it will go? And how can seller apps actually help when all of this is going to some point where nobody has a real plan anymore? I mean, where is your software going? What is the next step for you for this particular service, for PPC?
Advertising, of course. I think this really ties me back to what I was discussing about the sellers on Amazon growing by the day, and which also means that a multitude of options are available to a buyer. So I think sellers really need to stand out even before they need to strategically position their product to even for a buyer to even notice their product or click on it. So I think the way to cross this first hurdle is advertising, and really getting in front of your clients or the buyers, rather, getting a product in the top 4, running campaigns on similar products. I think retargeting all those abandoned carts and so on. So this comes at a cost, of course. I mean, there's no free lunches in this world. So with no guidance, chances are, I think, you're always going to get lost, and you're probably going to burn a big hole in your pocket. You won't be able to get a good return on investment. You're probably going to end up with a very high advertising cost of spend, which is also called ACoS. So, all these, and it's primarily because, of course, you firstly maybe don't know how to do advertising well, or there's just dearth of knowledge that you have when it comes to advertising. So I think this is where we kind of step in, and SellerAPP comes into the picture. And let me kind of segment that based on the seller type. So let's say, for an intermediate level seller, the solutions are going to be a little different from what to a beginner level or advanced level would be. So at an intermediate level and advanced level, people are mostly looking to just increase their conversions and sales and so on. They're getting more ROI there. So advertising on Amazon actually includes a lot of options. You can go for sponsored products, sponsored display ads, and sponsored brands. As a seller who's really handling multiple products, there's a lot that needs to get done. Excuse me. So starting all the way from really identifying the right keywords to bid on, optimizing your listings, creating different campaigns, for those products based on different segments of customers, different ad groups, advertising at the right time, targeting the right audience. Not to mention, of course, all those products that can get quite overwhelming. And so with all that, you cannot be doing all of this manually. And of course, automation does really help you in that sense. SellerAPP also, as I mentioned, is a data analytics platform that helps you optimize your PPC campaigns and automate them based on your specific campaign goals. So our dashboard also it also includes business monitoring, and as I mentioned, reporting, not just from an ASIN level, but at the keyword level as well. It goes down to as granular as you want. It can give you celebrity reports, customability, customization reports, all of those things can be generated, which will help you in making those decisions better, as I mentioned earlier. So, all these insights, automation segment where you can really customize your campaigns based on your requirements. And again, based on your campaign goals, you can create custom rules for your customer behavior. We have something called Roi Optimizer, we have a keyword harvester, we have a money saver, and all these things are catering to different, goals that you may have. So the purpose of these rules is really to maximize your returns and, help you with your ad spend. And really, budget optimization is also one of the things that we kind of do with this, amplifying to get your campaigns reach where you definitely want them to reach. Does that make sense? So,
Definitely.
automation helps you get rid of all those repetitive workflows and manually optimizing your campaigns, which leaves you with more time to really spend that time in strategizing, how to better market your product and so on. Because if you're stuck in the roots and just doing all of this on a day in, day out basis, you're going to go crazy just looking at, and especially if you have more than one product. It's not just one product, then it's still manageable, I think. But if you have more products, it definitely gets very, very cumbersome, and automation definitely helps there. And that's something that we do, of course, as I mentioned earlier. The new feature that we have in advertising is also called day parting, which will help you make optimum use of your advertising budget. So you can segment your day into parts as to when and how you want to, you can allocate a certain budget for the entire day of this hour that this needs to get out, or this placement, my ad placement needs to go out in the certain time of the day where maybe there are more people looking at your product at the time or visiting that page at that time, and so on. So you can allocate your advertising budget accordingly to the hours when your consumers are actually most active, leading to budget optimization, leading to target optimization. And lastly, for bigger sellers, I would say, again, they can always reach out to our team for these account managed services, as I said, where we have a dedicated team 24/7 working 365 days a year. And they will be doing, you don't have to really reinvent the wheel there. They're going to do all the heavy lifting and the hand holding for you to make sure that you have enough time on your hand to take care of how your products are doing, to make sure your inventory levels are up and so on. And you can focus your energies on that front because the team is there to take care of that, other bigger things.
Okay. Wow. That's, I mean, it's really good. And what I see in there is as well, because of the whole data and this whole, the advertising, you can really segment your customer and make sure that you always prepared for different events which occur in the future, or especially on Amazon, something like Prime Day or Q4, Christmas. How do you prepare for that? I mean, because it's just Prime Day just finished. There is different opinions about Prime Day. I have obviously my own opinion about Prime Day. But let's talk about the data here. Prime Day is gone, obviously, and now we're looking at Q4. I'm very, very enthusiastic about end of the year because it's the best time for me personally, for other sellers. So what is your advice on that? I mean, I have as well advices on that. For me, a quick advice, very quick advice, is always look at the year before when you check your keywords, and then bring your keywords into the new campaign. Don't reinvent the wheel. The keywords will be mostly the same as the year before. Obviously, there is a little tweak here and there, but that's just a little tip if anybody is interested in that as well. So please, what is your advice about that?
For Q4, you mean?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think you want to look at the trends that did well, or the categories that really did well. And as you mentioned, you brought up Prime Day as well earlier. So all I would want to say that I think a little bit about this year's Prime Day. I think it was bigger than ever before, and the best-selling categories were consumer electronics, household essentials, a home. But worldwide, the categories that gained the best-selling spot were Amazon devices, consumer electronics, and home. And consumer electronics and household essentials and home goods is something, Omar, that I've seen year on year gain the top ranks ever. Always. Whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas sale, whether it's of course Prime Day every year. These are always kind of ruling the roots. Pets and supplies is another one, which I feel that they're always on the top of those categories. So I think, if you are also either, whether you're a beginner seller, so either you plan to get into these categories and kind of search a product which you want to sell between them, or if you're already someone who are selling these categories, as you mentioned, using the right keywords, you can also look at through matrices and through data, you can also look at what the competitors, if they have done better than you, then you can see what they have used and kind of use them in your listings and use those keywords in yours. That would be something definitely that I would say will ensure that you get your sales high. Also, I think retargeting customers that may have visited your page during Prime Day. You want to retarget those customers in multiple ways that you can do that. You can also redirect them through other social media channels and get them to visit your Amazon storefront. But also there's, attribution programs, there's bonus referral programs. There is retargeting strategies. Also the PPC rates during Prime Day are at a peak. So, you want to continue targeting. If your product has sold really well and you've seen good sales momentum during Prime Day, then you want to continue kind of retargeting those customers and selling those products, because CPC rates go down right after Prime Day is over. So you can still keep up with that momentum and still continue to, show that visibility and advertise for those products. Having said that, I think Prime Day was just about 48 hours of sale, and you can see that, data for retargeting can also carry this momentum forward in Q4 as well, by analyzing what keywords worked best for you and also which hours the customers were the most active for. So Q4 preparations have already now started. And I think my biggest advice for every seller would be to pull up your socks, get your inventories all stocked up, get them ready, smell the coffee, and get cracking on the Q4 approach.
Wow, that's I think it's good advice. And like I said, I agree with that. And there is plenty good things to pull out of there. So I think Q4 can be coming. I'm sure everyone is already working on it. And let's see what this is going to give us. Priyanka, I have a question for you. Actually, it's kind of comes into the advices as well, but this is more a global advice for sellers in general, or for entrepreneurs. What would be your message? If you have a message for everyone out there, just a sentence, what would that be? For everyone, for Q4? Q4 or beyond anything what you, for entrepreneurs who want to go into entrepreneurship, or one who was very deep in there already. Related to Amazon or just general? Generally. I think if you are an entrepreneur, you want to get into entrepreneurship. I think if there's a dream that you've had, that you want to chase it, because and multiple times failing should not demotivate you. It should always be something that you've fallen only to rise again. So you should keep trying, because as it's like the old adage and the old cliche statement that one day you will succeed. But I think if something that you're absolutely passionate about and something that you really want to do, you should definitely in your lifetime give it an attempt, but with your full heart and full soul, and give it your 100% in whatever that you want to do. This is for whoever wants to do whatever in life, whether it's a job that you're pursuing, whether it's a course that you're pursuing, whether it's for entrepreneurship, anything that you want to do in life. I think you should do it with full capacity. Great. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. And I agree completely with you. Very, very good reply to that question. Where can anyone... You got me on the spot there, but yeah. Yes. No, it's because this is a question. I'm sure I will show you. You can reply to it. No. Of course. Just one more question. Where can anyone contact you who wants to know more about SellerAPP, or maybe wants to get in contact with you personally, that you can explain to them a bit more about what you can do for them? And please, I'm very happy to answer any questions that you may have, all the viewers and all the audiences that are watching this show, this podcast. I'm very happy to answer. And if you want to get online with me and we can like a demo, everything, I'm very happy to do that. So my email ID is priyanka.bohra@sellerapp.com. You can also write to us at support@sellerapp.com. And we'll be very happy to get back to you. I will place everything under it. Yes. Great. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. And there is a freemium model. So I would highly recommend that you guys try us out and check out our platform. You can do like a
There's a freemium model that you can see in, how the user interface is, and really see what, how the keyword researches are, the product research, the metrics that you're getting from the data that we're providing, and how useful and helpful it is going to be for you. So, there's no strings attached. You don't have to connect your credit card, so you can just sign up and get started.
Great. I will put everything under the podcast and under the YouTube channel as well, so we have this all in one go. And I'm sure there is some special sign up deals as well coming through. Anyway,
Absolutely.
we're gonna see what we can do. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Omar, for having me over. It was great talking to you. And
Thank
I'm
you
sure
as well.
Yes, okay.
Great, Priyanka. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.